welcome to Newfoundland and Labrador Studies 2205. This is Unit 3, The Country Grows. I'm Miss Fleming, I'm your instructor for this course. This is Section 2, Lesson 3, Video 1, on Early Forestry and Change. The island of Newfoundland contains approximately 3.5 million hectares of productive forest concentrated mainly in the western and central areas. Labrador has approximately 5.2 million hectares of productive forest. With the construction of the railway, some forest resources became more accessible for commercial exploitation. As the interior was opened, sawmills were established as the first large-scale commercial activity. Let's talk about early forestry. Forests have played a significant role in the lifestyles of Indigenous people in Newfoundland and Labrador. Adaptations to our environment, such as toboggans, snowshoes, kayaks, weapons, and shelters, depended largely on forest products. Many medicines were also derived from trees, roots, leaves, and bark, or sometimes used to make anti-inflammatories and antiseptics, and some of these plants are still used today as part of medicines. Let's take a look at these. We have Labrador tea, white birch bark, common yarrow, and blueberries. And blueberry bushes, it's not just the blueberries themselves, but also the leaves. Early European settlers and migratory fishers used forest resources primarily for fuel, construction of stages, flakes, wharves, boats, and houses. Additionally, dried fir bark was sometimes used to cover fish during the curing process. Fishers also regarded the coastal forest zone as their own reserve to which they had free access. This was incorporated into the Crown Lands Act of 1930, which specified a 3-mile coastal limit for use by fishers. But there were changing economic patterns at this time, and the use of forest resources began to shift from primarily subsistence to commercial activities in the late 1800s. In 1875, the government of Newfoundland passed a Crown Lands and Timber Act, which intended to promote the sawmilling industry. Most subsequent sawmills were small enterprises that produced lumber for local use. And there were large-scale operations for white pine for export. The first large-scale operation was built in Botwoodville, now called Botwood, in 1890. If you're not sure where Botwood is, let's see it on the map. There we go. And if you're from Botwood, hello. Other mills followed in Terra Nova, Sully Brook, Gambo, Gander Crossing, Glenwood, Millertown, and Badger. By 1901, there were nearly 200 sawmills in operation, employing about 2,400 workers and producing $480,000 worth of lumber annually. Lumber exports declined considerably in the 1920s due to the depletion of pine resources and competition with paper mills, and we will talk about paper mills and their impact in the next video. And now it is time to continue to that next video, but please take a break before you go on to it if you need one. I'll see you in a bit.